right, once again, it's time for Off the Top Sportscast. I'm John, and that guy right there is Roy. And we have a special guest with us today. We have Gary, a lifelong Raiders fan.
Let's play a little game called Win or Lose. Win or Lose. And we're going to look at your schedule, and everyone's going to get a little bit of an opportunity to say win or lose to see what is going to be the final for the year. First week, you're playing the new and improved Harbaugh Chargers, not the Los Angeles, Harbaugh Chargers. So what says you? Is that going to be a first week win, or are you saying an L?
Just win.
W or L?
Just win, baby.
Winning?
Just win, baby. We a home away from home. You see what we did to them last year. I know it's a new year, but I think we have the Chargers number. Our defense are going to come ready to play, and we'll put up just enough points to take the victory against the Los Angeles Chargers.
First week win, John. What says you?
I think they're going to win that one. I think they're going to win. Harbaugh didn't let anybody play in the preseason, and that team's going to need time. They're very devoid of talent over there, and so I think they're going to need a little time. So I think this will win.
Yeah, I agree, especially with the first week. First week, I think you're going to be able to catch them on their heels and discombobulating, catch them at the right time. So I say a W also for the first week. Second week, you are playing a beast, and that is the next Harbaugh brother with championship pedigree, with MVP quarterback, with a new running back, the Baltimore Ravens.
Whew, man, Roy, that one's going to be a tough one. I want to say win on all of them, but I have to be realistic. I have to be realistic. And to face Lamar Jackson and the rest of these guys, I say if we do lose, we won't lose big. I mean, So I'm gonna give us an L on that one.
How about this? Instead of saying losing, when you say it, you say I give us a 50-50 chance. That'll be our target that we go, okay, we understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
All right. John, what do you say? Win or lose?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Raiders, so I say that's a loss.
That's a loss. I say that's a loss. That's a loss. That's a loss. What to have two brothers back to back? That's disgusting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
It's interesting. Okay. So the next team, a team that's gone through a lot of transitions. They got a new coach from Tampa Bay, offense coordinator, the Carolina Panthers. Do you think you can win that game? So far, John's giving you out by saying you can say 50-50, but what do you think?
See, this is one of them type of games where everyone is expecting us to win, right? I would say just don't ever underestimate no team. So, of course, it is a win for the Raiders, but don't sleep on the Panthers because they're kind of in disarray a little. But I'm expecting us to come out on top there.
Yeah, I would agree. I think you guys win that game. Just too much pressure up the middle, and if their quarterback comes out of that not hurt, I would be surprised.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same thing. I think defense is what's going to help the Raiders over a new offense coordinator type deal. The quarterback. This quarterback has not been in a good position. He's not really been given a chance. And now you change again. So I say this is a W for the black and silver.
Everybody wants to say he's real fast. Well, when Christian Wilkinson lands on top of you, you get real slow, real fast.
That's right.
All right. Week number 4. This is the Cleveland Browns. This is I would say almost a one of those multi-lives that we don't know what they are going to be, Dr. Jekyll or Mr. Hyde. But
Yeah.
what do you think with week 4? Do you think?
Well, this one is going to be a tough game. I believe this is going to be a tough game. You know, Deshaun Watson at QB. I'm looking at the running game of the Cleveland Browns and their defense with Myles Jarrett. Yeah, that one's going to be really, really tough. I give us a 50-50 chance on that one there.
Okay, John, what do you think?
I think they win it. I think they win it. Chubb is out for the first 4 games for sure, maybe longer. Because they put him on that PUP or IR. And like you said, it really depends on what Deshaun Watson shows up. And if the Deshaun Watson that has been a Cleveland Brown shows up, they should have kept Joe Flacco. And I think even though it'll be close, but I think that with your offense by week, that'll be week 5. I think they should win.
Week 4.
No, that's week 5.
No,
We're 2 and 2 already.
They play Cleveland Brown in week 4. It was Los Angeles Ravens, Cardinals, now Cleveland Browns, week 4.
Oh, okay.
I say, man, I'm almost 50-50 also, but I do think that if Watson doesn't show up, they may be trying to do something with this man because they paid him a lot of money and they dealt with a lot of garbage. But I'm a 50-50. I say either team could probably flip a coin and win this.
So you both are 50-50. I say win. So that means we're putting it in the win column.
Yeah. All right. Good. Week 5. This is interesting. New quarterback, Denver Broncos, which they had a lot of growing pains, but did they stop the bleeding? Is this the first year that they move forward? So Denver Broncos, what says you? A W or an L?
Yeah, definitely a W. I know that this is a rival game, right? As mentioned, this team has been in disarray, and I know Sean Payton, he's still trying to put it together, have a new quarterback, and I don't think the rookie is up to task. And so Mad Max, he's going to eat, and he's going to eat well. Him and Christian Wilkinson, and I predict a blowout for that game.
John.
Absolutely. I think it's a win. I think by this time, there'll be rumblings of saying, why did we hire Sean Payton? Wasn't he a genius? That's what I think is going to be saying.
Yeah, I think Bo's going to have a bad game this game. I think he's going to throw 2 picks, and I think that's what it's going to be. I think it's going to be the picks that kill him because he's going to be chased. And I think that's what's going to happen. That's why they lose, because the picks. That's what I think happens.
Well, and his problem all year is going to be he's chased, and his wide receivers are not very good, so they don't get open fast enough for him to throw the ball.
All right, this is an interesting one. Week 6. So far, the Raiders, per that schedule, or per
3 and 2.
Yeah, not bad season, not bad, but it can all turn right here because we're coming up to a little bit of a hill. Why? First team, this team's a little bit disarray too, but we don't know what's going to happen. We're there with the quarterback struggles. Week 6, Pittsburgh Steelers. So what do you say here? Now, this is right at you're at the pinnacle of going up your hill because you're going to hit some tough teams.
Well, I mean, Pittsburgh, I'm giving my team the W for this one here. I'm still thinking they're still trying to decide who's going to start. Will it be Justin Fields or will it be the veteran? I want to see these guys scrambling and running from Mad Max all day long. And yeah, I'm giving my Raiders the win on that one there.
John, what do you say, John?
I gave him the win as well because I think this is going to be the first week that Justin Fields starts. Either by Russ just being banged up or by them going, we got to give Russell, we got to take Russell out of there, and put Fields in to see what we got. So I think in his first start as a Steeler, he loses, and that's week 6.
Interesting. Again, I think you guys hit the wall on this one. I think you lose to Pittsburgh. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think you lose this game. I do think Fields is going to be in the game by now, in being a starting quarterback. And I think that's what's going to change the dynamics of how you play the Steelers. And I think you're going to lose to Fields because of it. They got some good running. So I think you're going to lose. Pittsburgh goes down. Week 6, Raiders go down.
It's 2 against 1, buddy. So you know what that means? We're marking it down as a W.
Okay. All right. Let's look at, again, I'm saying you're starting to climb the hill here. Week 7, the Los Angeles Rams.
Yeah.
Great wide receiver core. The quarterback can line it up. Yeah. He can be marvelous at times. Decent running back game, good running back game. So what do you say? Are you taking a win or a loss?
Yeah, we may take the knee on this one here. And as you mentioned, Roy, they have a really good receiving core. I know my defense will be up to the task, and Matthew Stafford, that guy is a gunslinger, and the defense is not that bad either. So yeah, I'm expecting us to take the fall on that one. We probably won't be able to put up enough points to keep up with the Rams.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think it's all about the points. I think it's early enough in the season that Stafford's still going to be fresh enough. You know, it'll be week 12 when we start to hear rumblings about Stafford retirement. So yeah.
Yeah, I say another loss. I was going with another loss here too.
Okay. So 4-3 so far.
4-3. Now, week 8, you're going against Goliath. That is the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, what says you? They got a speedster. They drafted a speedster from Texas. Rice is healthy. One of their wide receivers is hurt. But there is a factor. His name is Mahomes. They also drafted a tight end. And they have Kelsey. So what do you say? Are you going to take it on the chin and you're going to say you're going to swing back and Raiders win this one?
Listen to me, Roy, and I want you to hear me loud and clear, brother. We're getting ready to punch them in the face. We're going to be at home. You didn't see what we did to them last year. Now, I'm expecting us to split, okay? But we're going to take this first one. We're at home. We understand Patrick Mahomes. We understand him very well. I'm putting the trust in Jack Jones, Christian Wilkinson, and Mad Max, along with Malcolm Koonce, to put that pressure on them. Because as good as Mahomes is, he does have moments where he throws those errant passes. And I'm looking forward to that as well. Because sometimes I think he gets a little too cocky with his scrambling ability and underhand behind the back passes. No, that's not happening at SoFi Stadium. It's not happening. So I'm looking for the Raiders to come away with the first victory when we face the Chiefs.
Yeah, I would say this is going to be a loss. I think if you would have caught them earlier in the season, I could see it happening. By week 8, they're going to have it figured out. Brown will be back. Juju will be up to speed because they just brought Juju back into the fold as well. You know, I don't know what he's going to give them, but unfortunately, and Hollywood Brown will be all the way healthy as well, which is a guy that I keep on forgetting they have. So I think this is a loss for the Raiders.
Yeah, for the reason that it's week 8. If it was week 4, I would have said you could get them. I say week 8, again, barring any injuries, but I think that's a loss.
Hey, remember, we beat them Christmas last year. So keep that in mind.
Well, Santa's not here to help you this time, buddy.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see.
So
All
that
right.
makes you guys at the, basically at half a season, 8-8 of 4-4. So 500. That's what because me and Roy went to, loss on that one. So it splits to a loss. 4-4 through 8 games. Let me just ask a question before we go on. If you were 4-4 through 8 games, would you be at least satisfied with that? Or would you be really upset about that as a Raiders fan?
Looking at the schedule, right? I'll be very happy if we come away 500 halfway through the season. Yeah, as opposed to being 2-4, right? Or what is that? Week 8? Is that where we at now?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or 2-6. 4-4.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with that. And as the season kind of mellows out a little bit, I expect my Raiders to come away with a few wins there.
I think that's a pretty realistic viewpoint to have, especially where the development of this team is right now. All right, Roy, what else we got? What's the next game?
This is where I think it could turn a little bit, then it goes bad again. At week 9, you got a quarterback who I don't think is going to be around in week 9, Burrow. So week 9, Cincinnati Bengals. What do you say?
Victory.
Victory?
We're gonna go into Cincinnati and we're gonna steal this one. We're gonna steal this one here. I understand Joe Burrow and the Cincinnati crew. Yeah, I think we're gonna be up to the task. I think we're gonna come in before the bye week, and the boys they're gonna be energized, and I think we're gonna steal one in Cincinnati.
I'm gonna stalemate on this one. I'm gonna say 50-50 because I agree that he might be banged up by then. I agree that your team might be more clicking and have a sense of who they are by then. So I'm gonna stay neutral on it. So you're on the win side, Roy. You're on the what side?
I'm on the win side. I think
Okay.
they're going to take the game.
All right.
So week 10 is a bye. You need it.
That's a good buy.
That's a good buy. You can't,
Yes.
That was like, if you're going to take a bye, that's the perfect time. But now you come again.
So
Okay.
I'll tell you this though. Let's say if it's a 50-50 kind of thing I have on a teams on my thought, I would lean your way off the bye. That's how I kind of take that, because you would have 2 weeks to recoup any injuries and game plan. So let's see who you got coming off the bye. I think it'll be interesting because I think if the scales start off like this, they're really starting off like this a little bit.
Well, you're coming against a team that just signed the coach to an extension. This coach has been used to put wide receivers in motion more to get them a little bit of a head start where some teams are doing it. So it's kind of, you need to rest to kind of come up against this team. But let's see what happens. But I do think Miami is going to be more of a beast this year than they were last year. So you're playing against Miami Dolphins. What do you say?
Now we played them last year, and I think we done pretty well. People thought that we were supposed to get blown out in that game, but we upheld very well. And I think with Christian Wilkinson playing against his former team, he's going to be juiced. He's going to be amped up, and I'm looking forward to him putting a lot of pressure on Tua. And I think Tua, he has tunnel vision. In my eyes, he has tunnel vision because he always looked for Tyreek Hill. He doesn't look for any other receivers. And so with that being said, Jack Jones, I think he's going to have a really, really good game that day. So I expect coming out of the bye week that the Raiders are going to win one in Miami.
Wow. Whoa. Wow. What a call. Man, that's like drop the mic call.
Yeah.
What do you say?
I think it could be close. I think it could be close. And the reason I'm saying it would So I just said I had a whole soliloquy about if it's close, I'm leaning more to the Raiders. So I guess I'm going to have to go Raiders. And what I can say about that is Miami has done things that I like, but what they haven't done, which I still baffles my mind to me, they have not solidified that offensive line. So when you don't solidify your offensive line and the strength of the defense coming in the building is their defensive line, and you need timing as part of your game plan, all those things are leaning to the Raiders side. So I would say the Raiders.
Well, this is like we're playing American Idol, so almost my mind as a judge doesn't matter. But I think that would be a loss for the Dolphins. All right.
So you're on the win. You're on the win too.
Yeah.
All right.
So I think it could be. I think it could be. Now you're coming against a team that's already seen you once.
Well, hey, that's 10 games. That's 6-4. That's hunt. You're in the hunt for the playoffs.
Well, yeah, that was week 11, John, because remember the bye, but yeah, 6-4. Yeah. So now it's week 12. You saw this team already. You beat them up, I would say, bad. Now they're coming back. Denver Broncos. You're going to see 2 repeats back to back. So what do you say? You beat them again?
I'm afraid of this game. I'm afraid of this game right here because if the Raiders come after a wonderful victory against the Miami Dolphins, this game right here can be one of those sneaky games where they might be sleeping on the Denver Broncos. Because who knows, they might pick up a little steam here and there during the season. And so I'm going to say 50-50 because of the ebbs and flows of the season coming off a victory with the Miami Dolphins. I just hope that AP has these guys ready to come up against a team that everyone knows that we should beat.
Roy, what do you think?
Denver Broncos, I think the Denver Broncos are going to squeak this one out. I think it's going to be by a touchdown or a field goal. I don't think it's going to be much. I think it's going to be that last little kick, and your guys are like, oh, we let it slip away. But I think that's what's going to happen in this game.
It's hard to beat divisional opponents twice, man. It's just hard. So we'll go ahead and put that one down as a loss. And I think that's a very tempered view. You know what I mean? Like to say that. And I think that's realistic. So.
All right. Week 13. Can't pass this one up. You see this team again. The Kansas City Chiefs.
Yep. Man, that's going to be a tough one. We're going to be playing at Arrowhead Stadium. We're getting into this part of the season where teams are starting to kind of show themselves who's rising to be the cream of the crop, playoff time. And I think we're going to take the knee on this one. It's hard enough to win at Arrowhead with the crowd that they have. They're going to be making so much noise. And so, yeah, as I mentioned earlier, I expect them to split. So this is the one that I see in week 13 that we fall to the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, I think I agree. I think you fall again to them. I think you fall. All right, week 14. So we got a loss there. Week 14, team that you haven't seen this year. New offense coordinator. Signed their quarterback to a little bit of a long-term deal, but they got the man himself. They signed him back, Evans, what I call the old man, who can catch almost anything. So week 14, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, do you beat them or not?
Yeah, this one here is another tough one. I kind of see at this point of the season that my team was trying to slide a little bit after that loss to Kansas City, all the energy put into trying to beat them, now coming all the way to Florida in the hot heat to play against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I see that we take the knee on this one. I see us probably losing by a field goal, down a touchdown against the Buccaneers down here in Florida.
Yeah, this is a tough one to gauge for me, Roy. I don't know. I'm 50-50 on it. I really am. I think I could see, it being difficult to come down here and play. And I could see the Raiders thinking playoffs and saying not today, Tampa. So I'm not sure. What do you think on this one?
The problem is Tampa Bay is a little bit more of a complete team. And I think it's going to be a hard game. But Tampa of a late has played to its team that they're playing. They seem to just play whoever they're playing. They're not playing like, oh, we're Tampa. We have we have championship pedigree. They just kind of always just play that way. And Baker Mayfield can make mistakes. So really, I'm going to give this one a coin flip and say a 50-50.
So we got to put it down as something, right? So I guess we'll put it down as a loss if we're wishy-washy on it. But I can say I can also see that one as a win. So that'll be interesting. Maybe we'll clip this out and we'll revisit it on that week and put a little poll on what people think and revisit it at that time, see where they're at.
Yeah, we'll have you back on during the mid-season when a couple of games have gone through. You could give us your opinion, maybe about week 5 or something like that, and see how far do you think the Raiders, what kind of promise they're looking at. We'll know some more by then. This is a new team. This is a new team that you got up at week 15. You got a team that's picked up, I consider, one of the nastiest quarterbacks in the draft. Mm-hmm. You already had a nasty wide receiver. And I think you have some good pieces in Atlanta. So the Raiders, do they beat up on the new freshman quarterback, or does he get to run wild all over the Raiders?
Let me talk about the Atlanta Falcons.
Atlanta Falcons, week 15.
So if Kirk Cousins is playing, I don't know. The veteran there, unless Michael Penix, if he's in the game because Kirk Cousins is hurt, of course. Well, I'm giving my boys a shot to beat the Falcons. But there's something to say about a veteran quarterback that can put that ball on the money like Kirk Cousins, and I really do like his game. Bijan, what's his name? Johnson? I forget his last name. Robinson.
Yeah.
Robinson. He's a formidable running back, and so that's on it. To me, it depends on who's playing at that time. If Kirk is hurt, I'm going Raiders. I can't see a rookie quarterback coming in and beating my defense.
Yeah, I'm looking at it, and I'm from what I've seen in training camp, Kirk Cousins looks great. It's really amazing. He's throwing the ball. The wide receivers were dropping the ball, but not because they were dropping the ball. I think they were surprised that it was hitting them in the hands. They were so used to having to extend to get the ball. When it was coming right here, they were startled by it. I think by this time, I think the Falcons are going to have, at the very least, what they had figured out. They're going to figure out who's number one on that team, who's not, and I think they win this game.
Yeah, for me, it's always why they drafted a quarterback is because, Cousins is always hurt.
Yeah.
And it's week 15, guys. He could be hurt. And he's coming up against a defense that is pretty nasty. I do think if Cousins in the game, there's no way they are winning this game. I think the Falcons take the win. I think if the rookie quarterback is in, I think he has no chance. So I think that's where it falls.
I think for the sake of argument, until we know any better, I'm going to start saying the reason the Falcons took Penix is because of his talent. We always want to say all the other reasons. The only thing nobody ever says is because they looked at the board and went, this kid's just too good to pass. And so maybe that's the case. And if Kirk Cousins get hurt, maybe we'll see that part of their plan and we'll all go, yeah, of course they did. And it'll be, 10 years down the line, and everybody will go, I wonder why was anybody talking like this guy wasn't good? You know what I mean? Just like they do with Josh Allen,
All right, John, what's our record so far? Because we got 3 games left.
So we're going to be currently at 6 wins and 8 losses. So that would mean you need to get on a heater. Because I think almost in any playoff race, the number 9 is where the playoff race starts. That's the beginning line. So you'd need to get there at least tonight.
So you got 3 games left. So the question is, how do you come out of these next 3? Week 16, Jacksonville. Week 17, New Orleans. Week 18, you're going back to Los Angeles with the Chargers. So how do you take these last 3 games? What do you say these last games? What is your record just on these last 3 games?
3-0. I think we're going on a win streak, right? We got Jacksonville at home. We're going to take care of business. And then we got to go to New Orleans. Man, I can't wait for that game right there. I want to see Derek Carr. I want him served up on a platter, right? Mad Max is going to be chasing him all over the place. And one thing I know about Derek Carr, if you put pressure up in the middle, he's not going to run left. He's not going to run right. He's going to take that sack, or he's going to throw the ball away. And I'm looking forward to that. So once the Raiders do that, then we're coming back to the Los Angeles Chargers at home. And what a fine way to finish that game out on a win streak and look forward to a playoff spot. So 3-0.
Wow. Wow.
Hey, look, I'm putting the cap on. I'm not arguing with him. Man said he's going to be 3-0. Man said he's going to be 3-0.
Let's go.
3-0? Oh,
Hey,
my. You're saying he's taking Jacksonville?
Hey, you know what I think is going to be interesting about those last 3? I don't know if New Orleans will be in the mix of anything, but that division is so crazy and messed up. They could be. It's not out of the question. So those last 3 teams could be all hunting for a spot in the playoffs as well. So that should make the end of the season for you very interesting. So if that goes that way, it would be 9 and 8. And then we would just have to see how the other people in the division and AFC have gone. Crazier things have happened. And that would be, even if you don't make the playoffs, in my eyes, for Pierce to come in, put cohesion to the team, have them fighting for a playoff spot with Minshew or O'Connell, I think that would be a successful season. Not the season you want,
right,
but maybe the season you need to get to the next step.
Yeah. I was going to say 2-1. 2-1. I think you lose to Jacksonville, but then I think you win the other 2. But hey, we're going with it. We're going to say you make the playoffs. Or getting in that race, not making the playoffs, but in that race. If you make the race, holy moly, AP is looking for some more money, possibly, and they may dish it out to him. We're going to bring you back and see what happens. We're going to talk Raider Nation. We're going to talk the good, the bad, the ugly. But as always, guys, when you're out there, we always say it every time, talk to a stranger about sports today.